Oh, there it is.
Yeah, a
What's happening?
little bit different scenery.
Yeah,
Uh,
enjoying this nice sunshine after the hellacious storm we got last night.
yeah, I'm officially residing in the apocalypse now.
You are.
Yeah,
Really?
uh,
Uh,
let's take a moment to just show my background.
oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a little bit of treeage, and it came really, really close to the house.
I see that.
Uh, Evidently, I've been a good boy, and
All right.
it did not decide to take the house or a portion of it. So,
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's always good.
uh, so
Well, the little one slept all the way through the storm last night, uh,
nice.
and I was like, I don't know. I probably woke up. Let's see. I woke up one time. It was like 1:30, and then 2:30, and then 3:30, and then 4:30. I mean, and all you could hear was wind and rain. I didn't hear that much thunder, but it was just a lot of wind and a lot of rain.
Okay, before any of the green people say anything, the tree looks alive, but it is down. So I'm going to get that branch out of the way.
It looks like you got some
Um,
firewood over your right hand shoulder.
I got all kinds of things going on. Um, so figure that we'll start off by just mentioning that we're going to try to adjust our format to something that works. I think we agreed on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm gonna make myself a little more uh, level.
Well, just having like regular uploads, things like that. Maybe when I clear my screen, maybe I should use my other hand instead of the one in front of the camera. Duh.
There you go. So right now, I guess I'm loud enough, right?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. I mean, I've got my headset on. I'm just having to adjust my volume a little bit. That's all.
Okay. So unlike me in my normal everyday plans, um,
What
you know,
plans?
that I
You,
yeah,
you're fly
exactly.
by you're fly by the
Um,
seat.
I tried to rationalize making at least a guideline, um, and hopefully your three topics aren't the same as my three topics, and we figure out a good plan with this, and end up with a show that people can enjoy. And
Right.
I'll try not to have this weird camera angle every single time. This one's out there, so
Yeah.
I've got the camera practically on the ground right now, hanging off of a tree. So
Well, you
weird
got
angle.
plenty. You got plenty of trees to hold the camera.
Yeah, but they're all too big to mount on, except for one little branch I found.
I've got mine sitting on my tripod and on my picnic table right here on the back. I figured why not? It's nice out here. Let's do it outside. I'll just be outside today.
There you go. So
I've been. Um, we're gonna make. We're going to make apple fritters tomorrow. So, but I do need a few groceries too. So I got to get some groceries. But I told the little one, I said, "Well, we're gonna make apple fritters tomorrow."
well, I'm still giving out the advice that people should stay in their houses. Don't go anywhere. If you didn't plan ahead, shame on you. That kind of thing. And I'm having some technical issues of sorts today. Try to adjust to my changing environment. Um, so with uh, with the unusual circumstances of my background here, I decided to change one of my topics, um, which I guess I could touch into just slightly, but I've got three topics, and so hopefully yours aren't the same. And we can alternate back and forth between topics, and I'll just start with, and this will be um, our Monday, Wednesday, Friday show deal. Again, we're doing what? What is this thing called?
It's a video podcast,
Right.
but it's just for fun.
Yeah, but what's the name?
Common nonsense, of course.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
just so you folks know, all right. So this is common nonsense. We do ask that you like and subscribe the video, please.
and and we're watching analytics and trying to figure out where this will go. But
Right.
you know, analytics are a weird thing, and they don't make sense right now. So hopefully that'll change for the people that are watching. Thank you. Um, so my first topic is weather and being safe in an unsure environment.
True. That's
So
loaded.
so right now our unsure environment is um, and here goes my ADHD issue. In the background of your video
Yeah.
is
There.
something flying, or yeah, it's straight back. It's
Right
either
here.
hanging or flying. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, if you see, it's one of those fly catcher things,
yeah.
and but there's there's it's something little. I'm surprised you could see that and how
A
small
little
it
green
was.
worm.
Yeah, it's like a little. Well, I guess. Oh, there it is. The wind's blowing it too. So
Yeah, yeah. I got them here, and they're literally building transportation out of webs and slinging across the sky. It's amazing.
yeah.
Well, he's gone, and we can move on about weather in an unsure environment. Now, what I mean by unsure environment, of course, is what everybody's dealing with quarantine, and trying to keep a safe distance from people, and um, also stay secure and safe, and things of that nature. And a good example is we got a storm, and a storm is a whole nother component getting thrown into an already unsure environment. And when you wake up in the morning and you come outside and your vehicles are missed by a foot or less, and your house is missed by a foot or less, and there's a glorious 60-foot tree that snapped off and has sit out on the yard, and
Yeah.
I'm going to cut this thing up, but it's an amazing thing that something this size would come down, and for all those people that are out there trying to find things to do, let me swing around here again because this is kind of a weird episode anyhow. More about the odd environment. There is a tree over there, and I don't know if you can see that red and green thing in that tree in the middle of it.
Uh huh. I can't, but
Okay, well, let me see if I can walk out there and share this because it's kind of cool. And this is for children that are stuck with their families and got to go places and do things.
yeah.
Um, so whether in an unsure environment, you don't know what weather's going to do. Evidently, what it won't do is mess with a child stuffed toy bear out for people to see.
Yeah. Who put that there? I wonder.
Yeah. So the bear is there. The bear did not get removed from the equation.
I'm sure you got a good
But
shower though.
but the tree And now we're pulling into the environment that I'm into. I'm crawling back into my cove.
Wow.
Naturally made here.
Which one of those trees came down? Which one was it?
Well, there's
Is that the one out there by the
there's
burn bin?
several big pine trees.
Is that
Okay.
the ones over there by the burn barrels?
Uh, one of the first ones by the well.
Okay.
So
It's not the
there
one
were
we were talking
three.
about the other day, was it?
The one I said was going to fall, yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I said
Oh,
this tree is going to fall, and it's going to
didn't
fall in
take
this
long.
direction, but it wasn't this direction. The wind removed it from the branches that would have guided it safely away from the house, and landed it directly beside the house to remind us that we don't have a clue what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, um, going around picking up random things that are supposed to be in a yard that's no longer in a yard. Um, just just to tell people in the world, you already got some uncertainty, some strange things going on. Throw weather into the mix, and you have absolutely no idea whether or not you're ready for any of it at all.
Absolutely. I know
Luckily, it's okay here. So,
Clemson and Oconee County, we didn't fare so well last night or this morning.
yeah, yeah, I've heard that some different places got it pretty rough, and I've got a friend that's got no power. Um, and so now you throw that into the mix.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have went and bought and prepared for what you thought you were ready for, and then lo and behold, the weather comes in and cuts out your power. And the things that you thought were just going to sit in your freezer are now going to have to be saved somehow.
Yep.
This is where knowing how to can and cook on an open fire probably isn't a bad idea. Um, and I'm trying to make sure I stick with being safe. So, since you don't know what's going to happen around your home, if you have trees or large obstacles that could possibly end up being an issue around your house, you want to make sure that you have some common sense things, some non-perishable food, first aid kit, and um, a
Bottled water.
uh, you want bottled water, but you also want to have a plan to get yourself out of your property or your home if something is blocking your exit. A different exit strategy, and that's just being safe, being prepared, and being safe. Um,
Yeah.
and and so basically, that's the topic of dealing with weather in an unsure environment. You're locked down, you're hunkered down, you think you're safe, and then boom, a gigantic thing gets blown into your environment,
Yeah.
driven into your environment. I mean, you don't know. Somebody could have a heart attack and drive through your bedroom. It could happen.
Phew. Well,
I
yeah.
mean, you know,
Stranger things
we're
have happened, that's for sure.
we're dealing with stress on so many different levels with people right now. It's hard to tell what you're going to be introduced to.
Right.
But so that's basically my first topic for discussion, and you
Well,
know,
I mean, sticking with that just for a moment, I remember it was about a week or so ago. You'd asked me, she's like, you know, do you remember? You said asking me about it raining since all this crap started, and I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, over a few days, I'm like, I don't remember it raining ever since all this started in the over the course of the last month or so in the U.S.
well,
And then and I got to thinking about it, and I mean, of course we had plenty of it this morning and last night, but still.
it rained hard for a couple days, right when my work was talking about shutting things down possibly.
Yeah.
And then it did rain after that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I remember that. So another issue of weather. If you have plenty of water, but it's dependent on how much rain you got, um, or you're like, this place has a well, but the well hasn't been used in a long time, and the last time it was checked, it was borderline safe.
Yeah. How deep does that well go?
No clue. So I've never tried it. I've never used it, but if it came to that, I would get water out of that well and boil it, and
Yeah.
probably make a silt filter or a charcoal filter or a combination of a silt and charcoal filter to get the water purified a little bit better, and then reboil it. You know,
Right.
uh, something to make sure that it was safe to get by.
Sure.
But that's the kind of things you got to kind of put in your mind and think about how many things how many things are going to change uh, in a few weeks time with a preparation that you've made. You know, we saw it coming, we knew it was coming, we did what we could, make sure we had supplies and things we needed. But you know, what happens if that plan
Yeah.
is changed? Did anybody think about another plan? Um, so we went over a little bit on the time on that particular topic, and I guess it's your turn to come up with a topic. Uh, so hopefully yours aren't any of mine, since we didn't go beyond just knowing that each of us was going to have three topics.
Yeah. And I don't do a whole lot of brainstorming. I just try to talk off the fly. Um, you know, thing about it is I know you said it last night. We were texting last night. The United States really has been caught with its pants down, so to speak. Um, I mean, I think we get comfortable and we get complacent with our lives, so to speak, that we don't really think about, that this is America. We don't really think about, shit hitting the fan, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Now, language.
No, I'm not worried about it. I mean, this is,
Well, we need to be, because this channel's set up that if a child wants to listen to it, they can. So we need to apologize for language and be careful.
well, but I mean, that's just the way this country, I mean, we've just been complacent, but looking at it now, I mean, I think there's going to be a whole lot more prepping involved for a lot of people going forward after all this.
Yeah,
Just for a simple fact, is that, I mean, you've got to have some kind of preparedness, whether it's, bug out bag, food, whatever, you know, you got to be able to get to the hills, so to speak.
or if a big pine tree falls in your yard, make pine and ginger tea
Yeah,
to wax.
I'm gonna take the zero on that one.
Why? It's loaded with vitamin C, and it's natural, and long needle pine is safe. Every part of it's edible. Not that I
Yeah.
want to eat a whole tree, but it's edible. Depends on how you
Right.
process it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just think that I'm already trying to figure out ways that I can be more prepared, for the next time something happens. Because, it's not going to be if, it's going to be when.
Yeah.
I think we're living in a day and time right now where, anything can happen at any time. We just need to make sure that we have the skills, the knowledge, and the tools and the resources available to do whatever needs to be done.
Well, I'm sure in ancient times it was the same case. You know, when Genghis Khan started his little crusade across the world, um, nobody nobody was probably sitting going, well, we need to have a Genghis Khan preparedness plan. But somebody was thinking, if somebody comes into my house, I need to do something. So I'd say preparing's always been there, um, and circumstances where a person needs to repair or prepare, not repair. Um,
Right?
yeah, has been there. Um, and that gets me to my brain was, several steps ahead, uh, thinking that we need to repair our way of living so that we use
Absolutely.
our resources a little more effectively
Yeah.
and and um, and know all the uses for things. We forgot the uses of things, um, and a person's going to have to come up with new uses for new things as the world changes. But the old things still have a use too, and especially when the power's out and the refrigerator's gone and all those things. Um, and I'm going to add to the prepared part that I'm going to pull out a tool this week uh, and say that it should be in every person's prepping equipment, and it's not something that everybody would think of. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a video of anybody saying they needed one.
What is it? Swiss
Uh,
Army knife.
no, 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 that was on there. Yeah, a good knife is always on there, and I can't think of a better one sometimes. So yeah, that's one. Um, so now you cook, and I'm gonna put a little prepared thing out there that you can touch base on a little bit more maybe. Um, you
Oh, I
make
love to cook. Yeah.
ghee. Hear
Yeah.
people talking about putting
I,
butter in a jar and
I
sticking
make
it
it
in the
all the
oven and
time.
canning it.
I make it all the time.
Right. Well, for people that are watching videos and want to go through a whole canning process, why don't you explain the properties of butter and ghee for some of these people?
Oh my gosh. I don't
Yeah.
know the property. Well, I will tell you that, um, ghee is nothing more than clarified butter, which is just basically just separating the milk fat from the butter itself. And I tell you, it's so much more pure when you pull that milk fat out. Because I don't keep the milk fat, but I'll keep just the pure, the clarified butter is what it's called. There's another term for it, but I mean, man, just putting that on some popcorn makes the popcorn 10 times better than just using regular butter. And a lot of people didn't know this, and I do not use anything but real organic butter. But a lot of people don't know that margarine, which is factory made in a factory, it's like two chemical compounds shy of being plastic. So why would you want to eat that and put that in your body?
Well, now with ghee, I'm gonna ask some questions, even though I sort of know the answer. It's not for me.
Oh gosh.
So when you take regular butter and you start to cook with it, it's like instantly bubbling. It's got instant reaction to heat, and starts smoking and doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's the
Now,
moisture in it.
now does ghee do that?
Ghee is very, very slow. It actually, when you remove the milk fat, it removes a lot of the moisture from there. So it actually has a higher smoke point.
Right. So you get a higher temperature,
Yep.
more consistent cooking.
Yep. More even.
Yeah, more even
It
cooking.
doesn't, and it does not burn and brown as fast as just like regular butter will. You throw
Right.
butter in a pan, man, and if your heat's too hot, it'll brown,
Right.
quick. So, but
So
ghee is just phenomenal.
so now with that, part of it. Next question is, do you have to refrigerate it? Do you have to
Nope.
can it or do
Nope.
anything special?
Nope. Not really. I mean, if you want to can it, if you want to leave it here, for me, it doesn't last long. I can leave it open, in a squirt bottle, like a ketchup bottle or something. Um, I can leave it on my counter for like a month, but I
Right.
use it so much it's not going to hurt it. But if I wanted to make enough of it to keep it for a year or two, then I would suggest canning it, sealing it, and putting it up in a cool dark place like in your pantry, something like that. I mean, but if you're going to use it and go through it like I go through it, then sitting it on the counter and the little bitty 2 centimeter opening at the top is not going to hurt it.
And unlike putting the butter in the oven, you're not getting that burnt or
No,
overcooked taste that you're going to get from putting it in the oven and just putting it in a jar and trying to can it, right?
no, you're not. That's the biggest thing. I mean, and I actually looked at, because the grocery store around the block here, they sell what they sell ghee in a jar, but it's like nine or 10, $11 for the jar. Man, I can go buy 8 sticks of butter for less than that and make the same amount.
Yeah.
I mean, the easy
That's
process.
what, $4 at the most?
Yeah, well, like I said, I use organic butter, so it's like 5.69 for like 2 pounds or something. So,
Yeah. Now I like that what they
or a
call
pound and a
rich
half.
butter.
Yeah.
It's very rich,
Kerrygold.
but if you're taking the milk fat out, that really wouldn't be a good use for that kind of butter
No, I just
because
stick
it's
with.
heavy in a milk fat.
Yeah, and you want to use unsalted butter when you do that, because, and I'm probably going to make. I know I told you we were going to make apple fritters tomorrow, but and I'm not going to do that for my other channel, for my cooking channel, but I am going to. I should make a clarified butter video on that cooking channel. And I tell you one thing I do want to learn to do is I want to learn how to can and how to be able to store foods and whatnot, because actually I was watching a lady a couple of weeks ago. She was canning hamburger meat, ground venison. I mean, she would cook it in her skillet or whatever, about 3/4 of the way, and she would cool it off, and then she would can it in a jar and seal it. And I've
Well,
never seen anybody do that before, but that is actually really good, because you're already cooking it, so therefore, and once you can it, it's sealed, so you don't have to worry about your freezer anymore. So if your freezer goes out, or you know the world start ending and falling apart, you have your food in storage, you have your prep, and if EMP hits and knocks out all the power, you don't have to worry about your freezer, because most of your food is canned.
well, that's actually a common practice. Well, it was when I was a child in the Appalachian Mountains. You cooked your meal, you stored your stuff. They saved the grease, they saved
Yeah.
the things they cooked, and if you canned meat, you poured grease on top of the meat, and then
Yes.
you also sealed it with paraffin afterwards.
Yeah.
It was like a double seal.
Right.
Um, so it's interesting you would mention that, and every once in a while I'll do a plug for you know something without any benefit to me or the
Right.
channel or anything, and I'm going to do it on our little project here. Um, there is a there was a woman named Clara. She's not around anymore, um, but her show was Depression Era Cooking, and her grandson still has it on YouTube.
Right.
He still releases her books and her videos, and he's still working with the material,
Yeah.
which I think is awesome. There is a lot of basic, simple, common nonsense there for you.
Yeah.
Things people that should just come into their brain as a common idea.
Yeah.
I guess it falls under common nonsense now because people just don't think it.
Well, it
So
goes back to being complacent, being comfortable in the life that we've been living in over the last 40 to 50 years. So we're not having to, we haven't had to, learn those skills. But I think that this is a teachable moment right now for everybody in America, that we all need to know how to do something so collectively we can do it all.
right, and 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 that would be your best skill in a prepared economy. There's a word for you. I don't think anybody uses a prepared economy.
What's that? That's
Right
like an
now we're in it.
oxymoron.
Right now we're in a prepared economy. Your knowledge is valuable to me because I am not an expert on ghee and I'm not made it enough to have any knowledge of it. I've used it plenty and I love it, but
Yeah.
it's not a skill of mine.
Right.
But, you know, uh, maybe you don't know how to make a activated charcoal or an activated charcoal
I
filter.
know where there's a video on one.
Well, there you go. Um,
And that's where I learned all my stuff, Bubba. He's on
and
YouTube.
in a prepared economy, knowledge is power and knowledge is currency. So, if anybody starts talking about the market failing, I'm saying, are people surviving? The market hasn't failed, the currency has changed. Currency is knowledge,
Right.
which is going to drop right into my second topic for the day. You gotta love that when it's that easy. Homeschooling the practical world. So we're not talking about just reading and writing and math and arithmetic. We're talking about cooking skills,
Yeah.
sewing skills, drawing skills on a construction level,
Yeah, I'm out on that one.
um, common sense knowledge being shared about mechanics, electricity, um, and the keeping of those things going, purification of water, um, insulation without insulating materials available from a store.
Right.
Um, you know, uh, Socializing when you don't have people around. And I'm going to come back around to that. Uh, you know, we're technically socializing, and so in a world where people can't get together, socializing is important,
Right.
and we need to be homeschooling that. Right now is a perfect time to get children on uh, video, get children on you know Skype with family, Skype with their friends, FaceTime with their family, FaceTime with their friends, um, and I would most love it if people would also do third party traffic with their neighbors, set up a radio, set it up so that they can talk on it, and introduce the third party traffic. Try not to share the microphone, but uh, do it in a way that people can participate in that and talk to people in other parts of the world so they can see how they're dealing with the same issue.
Yeah.
Because right now we're all one big society dealing with the same issues. Um, that's a very rare event. It has a potential for world changing views. Oh, we have something in common, you know, and teaching. I would say teaching practical history. Well, people did this back then, and this worked and people did this back then and this didn't work and it got them
Right.
into this situation. And here we are in a situation that's either similar to or as drastic as some of the previous situations in history. And explain why knowing that is important so we don't make the same mistakes as people before us. Um,
Well, and that's the thing. I think, I mean, I like to consider myself a student of history, but the thing is the general public doesn't look at history anymore, and they forget that history will always repeat itself. If they don't pay attention, history will always have a tendency to repeat itself.
yeah.
And so,
Well, you know, I wish that whenever school systems get back into school, that they would incorporate um, basic living skills at all age groups.
I got a dog barking next door, so I'm going to change my location.
He's trying to socialize, Robert.
Yeah, he's socializing all right.
So, you know, my argument or my debate of education would be that we need to know why. All age groups need to know why and how. All age groups need to know why and how to do things under certain circumstances.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So, I'm trying to put that information out there that education uh, in a practical world. And I was thinking we'll alternate and go back and forth, but I kind of want to slide into the next topic.
Go for
And
it.
just because of the dog and the fact that we're talking about socializing as being important in education, my 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 last topic that I had um, wasn't social distancing, and I'm waiting for you to come back.
Yeah.
There you are.
There
So
we go.
so next topic is not social distancing.
This is weird though. Hang on. I cannot sit like this while your camera's like that. That's just too weird.
Uh, it keeps falling, and I haven't stopped it. That's all.
Okay, social distancing.
Okay, so instead of social distancing, distance socializing.
Oh yeah, no
Yeah,
doubt.
we need to
Distant
be
socializing.
practicing distance socializing.
Yeah.
That way, people don't lose their connection with other people. They're not feeling, put a positive spin on this. You're socializing from a distance, you know,
Well, yeah. Yeah, I could
not
see
not
that.
distancing yourself from society. So, distance socializing.
Yeah.
Um, and I was cheating and keeping notes so I would keep myself in check because I think that in my younger years they missed OCD, ADHD, and a bunch of other stuff.
What was
Uh,
that again? I knocked my headset out.
okay, so I said I'm done with my notes now. I was using those to keep myself on track because I figured that I was, you know, uh, school system missed ADHD, OCD, and a lot of other stuff. Actually, they didn't miss it. They totally ignored it. This is going to be
Well,
a rough video for people to follow, sir. You're all over the place.
I know, and I had it all set right, and then Dog started barking.
And then the
Kind of.
dog started talking to you. Shame on him.
No, the dog was actually at the sliding glass door of the neighbor's house barking to come in.
So,
I'm going back to my table where I was at, and the heck with it.
well,
Y'all just have
that
to
goes
listen to the
back
dog
to
bark. That's all there is
that
to it.
goes back to planning in your environment. um, so, the distance socializing.
Yeah.
Now, people making the extra effort to stay in contact with people without, and I'm going to be nice and try to fix my camera. Oh, okay. Let's go back. Hang on. It is doing its own thing today.
There we go.
I'm
Putting my
mounted. I'm mounted on a loose limb, and I'm mounted, at a weird angle, evidently. And this thing's like 3 feet long that I mount the stuff off of, and it's not a very stable thing. It's always doing this. It looks like to me.
right.
So what we're doing would qualify as distance socializing. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
people,
yeah.
you know,
Utilizing technology. I mean, man.
well, I would even argue that right now, and here we go again, turning stuff. I would argue right now, distance socializing could be an optimal thing. And by that I mean that if you wanted to get reacquainted with friends from a long ways away, you have the time to do it. Um, if you want to make
Oh yeah.
new friends, new acquaintances, date, so to speak, um, those options are at their best right now also. You have no choice. If you're in that situation, you shouldn't be discouraged because you have no choice but to get to know another person
Right.
in that situation. You're going to have to distance socialize with a new person. And then, if things work out and and everything's still good, um, then you return to regular life, and you already know a person better, and you can communicate with a person better. And I'm going to apologize for some of my moving and stuff. Um, my location today has also allowed me to have a few visitors, a black widow being one of them. And I didn't want to kill the black widow, but I did most definitely want to get the black widow off of my leg. I'm wearing shorts today. So, um, uh, the black widow was not exercising social distancing or distance socializing. He was very
Shame on him.
he or she was very personable.
Shame on it.
I guess the color would probably give that away, and right now my brain's not remembering which way that is, so I'm not going to try to be right or wrong. Um, so if, if you were going to distance socialize, you know, I have kind of detached from a lot of the social networks. Although I did share with you that I had been invited into LO a long time ago.
Invited into
Evidently,
what?
LO ELLO
Never heard of it.
ELLO.
Never heard of it.
It is artistic, literal, um, creative people.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not one of those, so I wouldn't know.
yeah,
I don't have a creative
that's
bone
a
in my
network
body.
for those people, and I guess I really should not discount myself as of those people. For years, I did paint and draw and all these things. I've broken both wrists. I have an affliction that keeps getting me uh, less and less mobile over the years. So, but you know, creative outlets.
Right.
It's a good network for creative outlets. And I did share that I was doing um, a YouTube video cast or podcast, um, and shared the link there in case anybody was interested.
Sure.
And I told them to not hold back, not to pull any punches. If they wanted to say something, just get it out there. Um, that was
Well,
fine.
yeah.
I do not believe in censorship, although
I don't either.
I do believe in using common sense and not being belligerent on a channel that's possibly going to be seen by youthful, impressionable minds. Um,
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have set the rating that low myself, though. But I, I'd have said at least like 18 or over.
Dude,
Just
I gotta
what?
share this.
What did you see? What did you find?
Uh, I've never seen a spider like this, and I'm trying my best to politely ask him to join the conversation, or her. Really looks like a her with lots of stuff going on. Woo, woo, woo. Yes, right there. Let me. There you go.
Oh,
Pine tree
come
from
down
the
some more. There you go.
from the
Oh my
top.
gosh.
Oh, impressive. I am laying him or her back into the pine tree to find a home.
Yeah, yeah.
I am not going to kill the spider just
I
because
care nothing.
the
I
spider's
care
different.
nothing for. I care nothing for spiders, bugs, insects. I don't want. I don't like them. I'm not
They're
scared
just
of them. I'm
different
not
from
scared of them.
us, Robert.
I just don't. I just.
This is why we're on a channel together because we
Yeah.
do not feel the same way about things.
Yeah. I'm not like
Okay.
squirmish and whatnot about those things, but if it's in my way, it's as
See
good as gone.
this here is a ruler. People don't realize this is a ruler, Robert.
Right?
At the end of my arm is exactly where my rights end. At the end of my fingertips. If I reach over into Spider's little arms with my fingertips,
You invaded
he
their
hasn't went
territory.
into my rights. I've went into his rights.
Yeah, I get it.
And that
I'm just
goes for
not.
people. And you know, um, distance socializing while you're reaching out. Do not offend.
Hey,
Try to understand the people at the other end of the ruler. So now this should be interesting. I come up about 12 and a half minutes short of the time allotted in my brain for uh, for the total episode. But at the same time, I believe I left you with two topics.
yeah, that's okay. I mean, because really, it to me, I like the back and forth.
Well,
You know,
well, we're going to get
and
that. I have a feeling.
yeah, the back and forth commentary, is what I think's ideal. Um, man, you were talking about homeschooling earlier, and I know, it goes more than just, your basic math and reading and all that, and basically teaching our children, you know, fundamental skills that they can use, you know, at every point in their life. You know, it's only been like for me, it's only been probably in the last 8, 9, 10 months where, you know, I've started cooking more, but in the meantime, I've learned to kind of teach myself, how to do that, at least in a way that benefits, us here.
Right.
So
Well,
I don't know, man. I mean,
I want to
I
interject just real quick before my scattered brain loses what I want to say. Um, we don't stop learning until we stop trying.
yeah, you definitely can't learn if you don't try. I mean that's
Yeah,
a given.
Newsby. See, I'm definitely got some ADHD or OCD or something.
I
Uh,
think it's a little bit of both, but hey,
oh,
who's
look, a
keeping score?
butterfly.
Who's keeping score, right?
Right. So, so continue on with your home
Yeah,
education
yeah. So,
you want to talk
so, so I was just, so really, it's just finding something, people. I mean, you guys that are watching this, find something that your kid, that interests your kid, and work with them and teach them how to do it too. So if it's cooking or whatever, let them cook with you so they can learn those valuable skills and whatnot. Because someday, they may need those skills. I grew up with two brothers, so it's like my mom. I didn't care nothing for cooking growing up. None of my brothers did, but so it wasn't something I was in the kitchen raring to do. But it's
and you've all
cooking.
changed your view on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, my little one has pretty much changed my view on cooking. But it's just for a simple fact is she gets as tired of eating out as I do. So she's like, Daddy, why don't we cook more? Why don't you cook more here at the house? So, that was like my inspiration. So I watch all these cooking videos on YouTube. I got my cooking show now, and it's just like, okay. But I tell you, I'm going to change up my cooking show a little bit because I pretty much just do like everybody else, just focus on like one entree type item, whereas that's what everybody does. So what I think I should do is change mine to side dishes because nobody does cooking shows with side dishes. What goes with roasted lamb chops. You know what I mean? I don't know. So if I
Yeah.
can come up with something to eat all the time. It's what do I want to go with it? So maybe that's a good thing, but
Yeah, everybody's
just
worried about the singer, not the band. Everybody's worried about the production and not the stage crew, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That side dish is pretty important, you know.
I mean, you can only have biscuits and gravy so many times. Although I do love
Right.
my biscuits and gravy.
Well, don't ever get me started on gravy because I've had enough bad versions of gravy. It may be my specialty.
Well,
Old fashioned white mountain gravy made from sausage. It's good stuff.
I mean, I started making my own sausage gravy probably, I don't know, Savannah was still a baby, so Savannah was probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 maybe. And but eventually I cooked, once I done it a few times, like I haven't cooked sausage gravy in a long time now because I don't eat pork anymore. So I haven't found a sausage yet that would work in a sausage gravy. So now I pretty much just make a white pepper gravy, which I like just as well. Um, so um, that to me works just as good.
Well,
But yeah,
person's got to have their options and do things the way they feel is right for them, and there's nothing wrong with
oh no, you're right.
that. You know, my biggest thing is I like freedom. but I don't think stupidity should be one of them.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
if
I
you're
mean,
if you're doing your freedom with an informed decision, then you're probably okay. Um,
yeah.
and I'm getting off topic, but cooking definitely is important, and
Yeah.
it actually gives people freedoms. It gives them economic freedom because now you're not paying an inflated cost for your food. It gives you freedom of choice because you can decide what's going into your body.
Yep.
Uh, and it gives you freedom in socialization. How many people are you going to include with that wonderful meal? You know,
Yeah.
um,
Man,
and are you going to include anybody with that meal? So,
my granddaddy growing up, man, I remember he had 5 acres up in Greenville, and uh, where my mom grew up, and I mean, he always had a massive garden, man. Every year he had a massive garden, man. I wish now I could go back in time and learn how to do that from him. You know what I mean?
right.
Because seeing that now in memory, we really need to know how to do that right now.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, because we need to be self-sufficient, self-reliant. I don't want to rely on the government or anybody for anything. Not my well-being, not my safety, and definitely not my food and livelihood.
So, I'm also going to interject that, that the person that goes out and gardens, uh, or in homeschooling situation, the person, schooling yourself is still homeschooling. Um, and if you're not getting motivated and you're not getting out and you're not doing anything right now, it's naturally proven that your mood will improve with about 10 to 15 minutes of sunshine. Um, so if you're having trouble getting yourself motivated, go lay out in the yard in the sun for 10 minutes. You'll accidentally feel better. Um,
Accidentally fell, but well, that's true though.
yeah. Um, so and I can attest to that myself because I've been kind of a recluse for a few days, and I came out into the sun and started doing the little thing, and now I'm all pumped up, and I'm looking at 57, well, 58 minutes right now. Um, and I'm like, well, Robert still has two topics he hasn't brought up. Yeah. And
Well,
and
this
seeing
is
that I said up to an hour and a half total time, you've got time.
well. I mean,
Don't want to make life about a video, but at the same time we have time, and we can filter through some of the things that are rolling in our head.
oh
Uh,
yeah. Well,
while
there's
we're
there's a lot of things that are rolling through my head, but this is probably not the channel that I really need to air them out on. I have other
you know,
social media and channels that I air my frustrations and I air my um,
oh, little spider,
you
please.
know
There you go.
I love freedom too, but not at the expense of the illusion of safety, if you know what I mean.
Right. So and I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying not to put any crazy off the wall notions out there on this particular channel. Um,
I have Facebook
I'm
to get
not an
those.
overboard prepper, but I homeschooled myself last night on a Norwegian's philosophies, and I thought he had some good points. And
Yeah,
and
yeah. You know what? I mean, that one video you sent me, yeah, I liked that video. But I tell you, the one before that, the survivorship video was even better. Uh, I mean, there's a. I think we all. I mean, I don't know. I tell you what, when all this mess clears up, I promise
I'm having a
to
lot of
the
trouble with
one store.
frozen screen for some
Well,
reason, Robert, and I don't know if it's me or if it's you. So I'm gonna readjust and change some stuff and see if it helps.
all right.
And I don't know if it will or not. And I'm gonna apologize to people because uh, you don't get truth and honesty and all the things that we're striving for with our common nonsense by a whole lot of heavy editing, and it's intentionally bad just to not edit it. So again, I'm gonna apologize for the crazy video, and and for
It's
the
all right.
glitches today. I'm sure there's a lot of people on the internet, and we're using the internet to distance socialize, and so therefore we're gonna have some glitches.
Well, see, the thing about this, and I'll get back to whatever I was talking about in a minute. But the nice thing about doing this and just doing it and then uploading it, not really doing any editing, it's just raw video, man. Just be you, be me, man, and we'll just let it roll, man. Because there's nothing I hate more than somebody that spends all the time. It's just editing video, and it's like, well, you cut out all the good stuff, and that's what people want to see is the raw, unedited video because they at least know that we're real and they know they can get a sense of where you're coming from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I
I mean,
I
cutting out a little bit of video is one thing, but
yeah. Well, I think that it hasn't been said, but I think that when you dropped your little line over to me that we needed to do a show, um, that came about because of my non-filtering method. Um,
well, I like the non-filtering method. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that was the number one prompt. I just think that our thought process in some ways line up in some ways. So I see a camaraderie there, that would make something like this, really really successful.
right, and one of our oddly enough our commonality is we'll respectfully disagree.
Yeah, well, touche.
And it works. It works.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
may not see exactly the same way,
And we
and
don't have to. We don't have to. And that's
right,
that's not the whole
exactly,
that's not the whole point of it. The whole point of it is, people, whoever's watching this is, you know, common sense has totally been thrown out the window nowadays.
right,
You know, whereas, like I mean, I know people have all the book smarts in the world, but they don't have a damn bit of common sense in their brain, you know, and wouldn't know what it was if it hit them upside the head, And I'm like, that's just ridiculous. And I'll give you a prime example of common sense or common nonsense. So I'll use this as one of my topics. So car pulls up in this lane. Okay, I'm going to try to be vague, but I think you know where I'm going with it. Car pulls up in this lane, and the sign says, "Pull up until door opens." I mean, it's literally to their left about 3 feet, with 6-inch letters on a 3 by 5 sign, 3 foot wide by 5 foot tall sign, and they stop and the door's wide open in front of them. Are you kidding me?
I don't know what just happened, but
That is, that
the
is,
more excited you got, the more your technology rebelled, and
oh, gee.
it was animated. It was entertaining to me. Uh,
Well, okay, so I don't know
well, I
how
liken
much you
that
caught
to the
there.
person that doesn't know what a stop bar is, and the people that don't realize that there is a pressure pad in roads that trip the lights sometimes, and they'll pull behind the pressure plate in the road and expect the
Yeah.
light to change.
But I mean, when you have a sign that's 3 feet away from your driver door window, that's 3 foot wide by 5 foot tall, with 6 inch letters that says "pull forward until door opens," and the door's already open, and there's nobody in front, and there's another stop sign right there in front of you, say 40 feet in front of you, says "stop here," and then they sit there behind that sign, and they're like, and I just shake my head. I'm like, are you really that stupid? Really? That's
Well,
common nonsense, right? That's just nonsense right there, because common sense would tell you, oh, well, door's open, sign up there says stop ahead, so I'm going to go ahead and pull on in. Sorry, I've been wanting to get that one out for a long time.
well,
People don't have common sense anymore, man.
it.
They're too
I would.
concerned about having book smart. Book smarts is fine. Book smarts is wonderful. But Jesus Christ, man, come on, you need some common sense.
Well, you know, the stop bar, the pressure indicator on the road, the
Yeah,
automatic door, the turnstile, the uh, slots and bar that you put down at the grocery store to segregate your groceries from other people.
yeah,
Uh, I would argue um, that a lot of these things people have not thought about how they work. They just don't think about how they work. Um, you know, watch people all the time. They'll grab their groceries and 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 they've got grapes and they've got bananas and they've got all this stuff, and then they look at the roll and then they figure out how to get the roll down and pull the bag, and then they look at the bag and they look at the random things that they have, and it doesn't even occur to them that they're supposed to put each item in its own bag,
right,
and they're trying to figure out how to multiply put things together. Um, and People that they know they've got 20 items in their car. I've got 20 items in my car, and I want to carry all 20 items into the house. The the task of trying to do it all at once supersedes the common sense of making a couple trips to make it easier, or allotting in the process that you might have to unlock the door before you can take anything in.
yep.
You know, those kind of things people don't think right off the bat about just procedural, how to do a procedure. You know, if you're going to follow a recipe,
It's
and the recipe tells you
planning ahead.
to melt the butter, but you skip melting the butter to putting the butter in the bowl. It's not going to come out the same. You know,
No,
following procedures,
yep.
um, which falls under homeschooling skills. Following procedures, that's a good
Oh yeah,
class for a lot of people. Anybody wants a homeschool, practice doing a class. Um, and there's a program, and I can't think of it right now. But if you're bad at following procedures, um, Apple has a program for children to learn how to program code,
Mhm.
and it has a real simple maze, or so it would seem like, of things that need to be done, and you've got to instruct how to do it.
Right.
Well, even a person that follows procedures after a while is going to have trouble um, with that program, because there's sections of that program that will challenge even people that think they know what they're doing. And I think it's great for all kinds of people to try that. not just to learn a little bit about programming and how programming works, but to learn how procedures work.
Yeah.
You know, you
Well,
want to get
procedures.
somewhere, and somebody in I'll give an example. Um, I won't give the name of the GPS device, but it's not George George. So George George says make a left. You make a left. George George says pull up to the water. You pull up to the water. And George George used to say, I think they finally fixed George George, it said swim X amount of feet. This was a place in Charlotte.
Right.
Somebody missed a procedure in there, and so it took you into a housing development instead of the industrial parkway and would tell you to swim.
That's crazy.
No, none of the other GPSs were doing that, but George George did. So, procedures are important. Um, and I don't think that was on either one of our lists, but somehow that happened.
Nah. Well, honestly, I didn't have a list. I'm just going to flow with it, man. If it comes to me, we're going to talk about it or whatever.
Okay, well, it's there. You're taking my approach to life today, and
Yeah.
I took yours and got all structured so that I can
Yeah.
try to keep it within time constraints because I get lost in my own thoughts. Uh,
Yeah. So, well, I know I had lost my train of thought earlier a little bit ago on the survivor skills video, things like that. But I mean, I I'm looking nowadays and just being prepared, and because this is in all honesty, man, I've said this to a lot of people, and I have voiced this out over Facebook, and I have voiced it to President and South Carolina governor. This is a test. This is a test of something bigger to come. I believe that China, I think it's time that we start pulling our manufacturing back into the United States and start doing our own, manufacturing our own essential goods again nowadays rather than in these foreign countries. I mean, it's going to cost us a whole lot more money because people want to make $25, $30 an hour. But, that might be what it comes down to, just to get our manufacturing back to where it needs to be in the United States and not having to rely on these foreign countries. Because honestly, we have no idea what's on those boats coming across here. Just like we have no idea the people walking across the border, whether it's Canada or Mexico, what kind of diseases people are carrying. I mean,
well,
I think we have to be a little bit more cautious.
we're in a global world, and you got to keep in mind that a lot of people that live in our wonderful country are originally from somewhere else. And
Okay.
those people still have people somewhere else. And
Okay.
I do believe that we need to have a supply chain that is domestic. But I don't. I I believe it should be competitive, and that uh, you know pricing across the board needs to be more equal. Um, and
And that could probably be done. I mean, does
well,
Apple does Apple really need to make their iPhone and iPad and all that in Vietnam? And where there's people over there, or I don't know how old they are, but well, they're probably making, you know,
well, it doesn't matter what the company is. Um, and I hope
like
you're
the
hearing me.
things that will the
You're. Um,
yeah, yeah.
I think your connection is really rough. I don't know if it's mine or yours, honestly, but I never saw you glitch the way you were set up before.
Huh.
And I
And
and I'm
I'm set right back up like I was too.
uh, I'm getting like some serious freeze on my end.
Huh.
Right
Let me
now
check.
you're okay, but oh
And I'm on Wi-Fi too, so.
yeah, this is going to be an interesting video. We flipped the stuff around, did all kinds of weird stuff. Told people,
They'll
uh,
be drunk by the time they get done watching us today.
yeah, this episode's brought to you by Dramamine.
What's that?
Again, not affiliated with them, but if you're getting virtual motion sickness, you probably should have some.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, just because you never know what this is going to do.
right. Well,
I like my little tripod though, man. Like, it can go from 2 foot to 8 foot.
well, I originally wanted something to hold my iPad so I could watch endless, mind-numbing media online. So my device was designed to drop it over top of a bed or something like that, or out from a desk and hold it up in different angles and different positions.
Yeah.
And that's what I did with it for a while. Then I stuck it in a closet and forgot about it because everywhere I wanted to use it, the clamp was just a little bit shy of tall enough to clamp onto something. But I tried again and I found a few ways that it'll work. And right now it's on, a tree limb, on a tree that
Right.
fell, and if you saw this thing, it looked like it's going to come out and get you because it's crawling through the tree. Um,
Well, see, what you need to do right now is take a picture of it with your phone and then insert that picture into the video while you're editing the video.
and I probably could do that, but I am. Well, actually, I know I can do that. I've got some software that somewhere along the way I ended up with a beta test of video editing software
Yeah.
and a license that's still good as far as I know.
I
And
think
I've
I think
used it. I've used it on my other channel to put pictures and music together. But with
I
this
think
kind of thing,
Photoshop. I think
well, with this kind
Photoshop's
of thing,
free. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
wanting to try to not. Uh, I, I really want that to be one of the things that we do. We we try not to edit the
Oh
video.
yeah, no, I hear you. I hear, but every now and
Um,
then you wanna put some text up on the screen, or you might want to insert a picture or something like that. I
well,
don't really necessarily consider that editing. I mean, it is because you're just adding a little bit more material to it, but I get what you're saying.
I'll practice my distant distance socializing, and if somebody wants to read something from us, they can comment and 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 we can reply in there a little bit, and I will, and I can poise it to you, and we can put it together in a way that we can um, you know get the answers and then put them on there. Um, you know, I just while this is running and while this is going on, it's an experiment and I guess a testament at the same time of what happens when life's a little unscripted. Right now, life's unscripted.
Oh yeah,
This video's unscripted to a
oh yeah.
fair degree, other than a notepad that I had that had stick to these topics, boom, 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 and and then
And I
and
have no
then
notepad.
me trying to figure out, what keywords or hashtags need to be into a video, um, and and trying to stick to those. That's about
Yeah.
most of the scripting that I'm trying to do.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, what some of the things I was reading on, when you're trying to gain organic traffic and whatnot to your YouTube channel, the longer the video, they say the better. But having a really good 4, 5, or 6 sentence description using keywords in that description really helps because that's search engine optimization. So, I mean, other than that, that's just some stuff I was looking at. But I like to keep it unedited for the most part, as much as we can anyway. Just that
Yeah,
way everybody knows we're real.
and this was the reason for the long video or longer video today was so that um, I could I could try the longer video out. See,
Right?
my channel normally sets to the standard of um, I can't pay attention long enough to watch an hour long video.
Yeah.
Very few things capture my interest and keep it that long.
Yeah.
And I understand that there are other people that are that way.
There's a lot of people that way.
And for
Yeah.
anybody that's curious about the beep on my phone just now, um, I never stopped my career builder. Every day I get job offers. If you apply, most likely you'll get a reply that they have decided not to do applications at this time. But yet you get the reminders for the jobs.
Yeah.
And I've been told that whenever this all settles that I'll have my job and not to worry about it. But I am insanely bored.
A lot of people are.
Um, yeah, and so here's where we come up with oh, this thing isn't working well today at all. So this is where we come up with the you know I guess it'd be a public service announcement. What else do you call it?
I don't know.
If
PSA?
you
PSA would be fine.
if you are destitute, frustrated, um, uh, feeling apathetic, not empathetic, but apathetic. You don't want to be involved with anything. Being detached from your friends got you down. Being unable to work, which for some people frees your mind and allows you to think of something other than your life. Um, or if life has handed you a real mess and you're you're not prepared for it right now, anything like that. You don't have to call special help, and you don't have to do anything extraordinary to do any of this stuff. Uh, but you probably ought to talk to somebody. If you have a friend, talk to your friend. If you don't have a friend, make a friend. Go online. Try making a friend. Don't blindly make a friend and then give them your bank information. Probably a bad idea. Um, but you know,
Use some common sense there.
yeah, talk to people. Talk to somebody. And if you don't have anybody to talk to, you know, try a game. Minecraft will occupy a person for a lot longer than anybody would think that obscure blocks would do it. And they have chat, and you can go online and find friends to add. So, you know, I'd say, make an avenue. And if you're physically able to, get out and get some of this stuff hitting the arm here, some sunshine. It'll actually help. Uh,
Vitamin D.
yeah. So and that's the public service announcement. And I think I'm also going to be doing another product review on my channel. So I'm going to plug my channel for a second and say I've got a product review that I am going to make this week. I don't know exactly when I'm going to do it, but it's coming this week. And
Do you want to share with us what the product is?
well, it's a flashlight.
Okay.
Um, I have two flashlights that I bought at least a year ago. that, that just like I said, you need to get outside and get recharged. Well, they do the same thing. They recharge. I've traveled with one of them. The other one is sitting in the kitchen window, gets sun at least 2 hours a day, um, and I want to review these because they have some interesting features. Pollen's getting me, and some interesting things to avoid uh, when shopping for them because there are different models and they kind of look the same. So I was going to say if they want to go to Wire Talker M, look at the channel, they'll see, uh, you know, the other reviews. But I'm going to review these flashlights because right now is a good time for somebody to get these. And a local store has it here. I don't know who sells them. I'm sure you can find them online. But I have found mine not only functional, does exactly what they say, but dependable.
Are they tactical lights?
No, not really. They're
Okay.
just a good, practical, and fairly well made light.
All right.
And they're bright. And they take no batteries.
I like
So
a really great bright flashlight, man. There ain't nothing like 650 plus lumens.
yeah, I'm not even sure the lumens. I'm going to be a terrible reviewer. Other than I'll just tell them say it works, and you can
Yeah.
depend on it to work, which sometimes is a pretty good review to begin with.
Yeah.
And I do reviews occasionally, not to be sponsored and not necessarily thinking that anything is ever going to come of them. Just the fact that they're products that I feel comfortable letting somebody know about. So,
Yeah.
uh, and I stick with my ways of doing things. And if it's not worth a darn, unfortunately, I'm pretty good about saying that too. So I try not to review anything bad if I can. I I just use that philosophy. Don't say anything at all. Uh, well, the pine pollen is heavy, and the cup is empty.
Empty. Yeah,
So
mine is too.
so this may be the end of this video, and with that, I'm guessing the magic word or the word for the day would be hydrate.
Right?
All right, so I catch you later, dude.
Yep. So you guys just remember to like and subscribe this video. Hit him up on Wire Talker M. And thanks for watching. We hope to see you guys again soon.
All right, and again, we need somebody to put some input out there, otherwise we're going to roam endlessly and aimlessly through a desert of things that we think everybody should know. So
That's
if you
right.
have a suggestion, suggestions are welcome. Just keep them clean, please. All right, that's it.
All
We're
right.
out.
All right. We'll see y'all.
Bye.